Good evening, royalties. Yes, Amoy.
It's good.
How's it all going? How's it all going this week?
Nah, I've been good, I've just been here
Yeah.
doing my thing.
Yeah,
What about you?
I'm all good, man. Just knackered with all this coronavirus stuff and Palestine, Israel. So I'm just like, it's sad times. But let's get on to the show. Welcome everyone to Hearts of Talent, Hearts of Heart. We was meant to have Carl here today, but due to unforeseen circumstances, he's unable to join us. If he can, he will join us during this time, but right now we're unable to get hold of him, so there might be something going on. But as we think on our feet, we thought we would interview the amazing Amoy because Amoy has had a bit of experience in the industry as an artist, and I've also done a bit of artist management and dabbled in the business side of the music industry. So we thought, why not? Let's think on our feet, let's switch it up, and let's hear from our very own star of the show, Miss Amoy Dale. So Amoy, do you have, first of all, do you go by an artist name or do you use your name?
No, do you know what? Yeah, I already thought my name was like unique in itself because you
Yeah.
don't see a lot of people named Omoy. So I'm just like, you know what? Let me just go by my name because it's unique enough. So I go by Omoy. I was gonna go by Omoy Dale, as you guys can see, like down here.
Yeah.
But Omoy is fine. Like I just prefer Omoy because I don't know what other name I'll go by.
That's fine. So, in terms of what you do as an artist, what is your genre of music? What kind of things do you sing about?
Do you know what? What I've dibbled and dabbled in. So a project that should be coming out soon that we've done with the Hearts of Talent, that's coming out soon. So that song was about feel good, like inspiring and stuff.
You got alarms. You know why that alarm's going off? Because you know when it's a banger and you alert, you're like, "Do, do, 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 do." Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the ones above us telling us, your guides are saying right now, the angels are saying, this is a banger.
Right, and I believe it. Like so that song there is like a feel good song. But me as an artist myself, I should be having an EP coming out soon for
Okay.
everybody to understand.
Are you allowed to let us know what the name of that is?
Ooh, do I?
Okay, forget the name. Tell us a little bit about the journey of this EP. What does it represent to you?
Okay, so it basically tells a story. So
Mhm.
that's what it's about. It's telling a story and understanding me as a person. Because I feel like going through my life as a teenager, because I'm not
Mhm.
an adult yet, but my life as a teenager, um, I was kind of misunderstood due to me being a creative and just a person. No one really understood who I was.
Yeah.
So you see like the journey of me. So you're gonna have a few not sad songs, but it's just it's realistic songs. Like I'm not gonna talk about anything that I don't do. So everything that you
So you
hear in
don't
the
do
song,
that chap chap in the bando. I don't want to look like you. All this kind of you don't do all of that.
because I ain't never been in no band and I ain't been in no trap.
That's good.
But you're gonna hear more things like you're gonna hear about my life basically. So it's a life story,
I
and
love.
like that's what artists kind of miss sometimes is telling a story. Because if you look back at the Luther Vandrosses, if you look at the Michael Jacksons, if you look at
Yes.
everybody, they told a story in their songs, and
Mm,
it wasn't no little story. It was like, okay, yo, even with Luther Vandross's Dance with My Father, like
yeah.
a story
Beautiful.
about him and his dad.
That you don't hear that, and so I wanted to touch on that. Like, what is it in this industry right now? It seems that like negativity and kind of like violence and over sexualization kind of sells.
Yeah.
So with your music, do you feel like you have to do that, or is there an intention to move away from that? What is that for you?
I don't feel like I need to sexualize myself in a song, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Mhm.
feel like I need to sell myself in that way where I can talk about life. All right, cool. So I don't want to be like, I don't want to make it too. inappropriate. But
Yeah.
there's certain things that you can talk about. You can go about it a different way instead of using profanities and stuff. So like
Yeah.
instead of swearing in my songs, I can understand, like I can make you understand my pain without me swearing. And that's what's on my EP as well. Like I have pain in there and my voice is gonna say it all. Like my voice has to do the speaking at the end of the day. I'm not gonna lie.
Sexy can also be a mindset, you know? You can have a certain mindset that could be like, yo, the way they think, their depth of their knowledge is just mad.
Do you get it? And like I don't need to talk about the sexual stuff. Like I don't need to do that. Like I could do that in my own time, but me as an artist, I don't feel like I need to do that. And there's if you realize I've been saying artist, right? And there's a reason why I say artist and not singer, because I'm able to dibble and dabble in other like artistries in this industry.
Can I see the dance? I see all the, you know.
Oh, please.
I can't wait for them to see the song come out properly, man. This song is a banger, not gonna lie.
And just all the people that's gonna be on there.
Yeah.
Like, I got to shout out Joel, Marcel, Lindrick, Lemsy, and then my two favorite guys, Gad. Hold on, don't want to give him Little Blaze and Bad.
So you nearly gave away the governments right there.
Nearly.
I wanted to touch on, you see with the industry, there's kind of like I've got a bit of a problem in terms of the sold dreams. Like, what does it really take for an artist to make it in this day and age? Because a lot of the time you see these videos and you got these guys with money or girls with money and they're in all of these big mansions and all these cars and stuff, and it's like, but what's really behind all of that? So for you, when you went into the industry, did you find it difficult adapting to what it really is versus what the portrayal of the industry is?
Yeah, do you know what? I feel like it sold me a big dream. It sells a big dream because at first I was like, I want to be a signed artist. Then I looked at signed artists and they got to go through a whole lot of stuff. Like you got to like go through people just to take out your music, and then even your music, like you don't own it sometimes. And I can't deal with that, to be honest. Like I want to be able to have a full ownership of my songs. You know what I'm saying?
So what does that take then? To own your song, what do you need to be able to do to have full ownership of your song?
You got to make sure you publish. Like from what I know is you got to have PRS. That is so important for everybody to understand. PRS is a big thing.
And what does PRS stand for?
Do you know? I actually don't know what it stands for. I studied this. This is so bad because I studied this in school.
I'm like your test. Don't worry, we got, you know when we got Google now. Yes, we got Google. We can find out what actual PRS stands for. But I know it's a platform to get your royalties, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we have to sign up to PRS. So so you sign up to PRS. What else do you have to do to be that official artist?
Basically, you don't even need to have like a fan base or nothing like that. That's one thing. I don't have no fan bases right now. You get it? And I don't know when I'll get a fan base. I'll get it soon. There we go. We had someone say in the comments, performing rights
society. Go on, Alvin, backing us up. I swear he's not meant to be working today, but he's still working today.
He's still working. He's still doing his thing. But you got to make sure you have your anything that you use, make sure it's cleared. So you don't have to go through like there's like a court thing that they do when you get caught for not clearing music. That's another thing, because everyone thinks it's put out your music and that's it. No, there's a whole lot of stuff to this. Like you really got to make sure that everything is clear so that no one can say, oh, you took this and you took that and you used this and it's like, nah, it's my own. Like I've worked with people. Make sure you give credit to people as well, because you know.
Yeah. And let's talk about contracts, because that is a thing that I've seen artists really slip up on a lot of the time. So there is this myth. So I've seen it a lot of times when, you know, labels and people with upcoming, they give these contracts that are just like so complex, and you really have to get a solicitor to actually second look that contract to make sure it's all legal. But I spoke to a judge before, And the judge was like, you know, a contract is anything on paper, you both agree to it and you sign it. That is a contract. If you bring that to us, we can actually, it's a legal binding document because there's two signatures that agree into a set of terms. So I was like, so that means artists can actually come up with their own contract. And people don't know that you can actually do that. You can actually say, well, it's very simple, it's very clear. This is the terms of how we're going to work. But have you ever been involved in kind of a contract dispute, or have you ever been kind of put off by contracts in some sense?
Do you know what? Like, right now we are going through a contract thing. So the song, when it comes out, right now it's going through its contract phase where certain things have to be signed so that as much as you want to say it's not about the money, sometimes that's what it can be. It can be about the money. And it's just to have your own back. And a contract is not necessarily a bad thing because it's like it saves you from a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So you need to read the contract for any clause. And exactly. Like a contract is not necessarily a bad thing. That's how I look at it because it covers your back. Say someone tries to say you done something, but it's in the contract that you can do it. You can just bring that up. But you need to have someone who could read that. Like, I'm not a contract reader, so I get my mom's help and also our operations manager Sam. So you know, like that.
You know, you got it like that.
Of course, this is a serious company, yo.
I was gonna say, so you know, with your obviously to have that kind of, to be able to, as a new artist or up and coming artist, what do you need around you to make sure you're protected? Because look at already we've spoken about contracts, we've spoken about PRS, and like new up and coming artists really trip without knowing what the process is. So what do you require around you to really have a good start in your career?
I would say, for me personally, I would say have a good team around you. And that's all you need, to be honest. You don't need no big people. Even if it's your mom, your dad, or anything, have a team around you that can really support you and really, like, they really sit down and help you out. Because this industry can break you. And I've had, even though it's my first time as an artist in the singing sense and the artistry sense, I've done something else in the industry before where I've been let down. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And this industry, and everyone thinks it's a walk in a park and it's fine, and it's not, because there's certain things that will just completely break you, and people are like that because they see potential in you. Like, and it takes time for you to see potential in yourself. Do you get what I'm saying? So or someone can see in you, use you for that, and then, you know, they dip because they've taken your talent already. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that for me, that was a learning curve where I was just like, you know what? I need to know my worth. I need to know who is around me. And I need to know that I can't trust everybody, because sometimes things look good on paper, but when you do it, it's completely different. Yeah,
that's true. And what does a team look like? So who would need to be in a team to give you that solid foundation?
Oh, but I could only talk personally for myself.
I'll add if need be.
All right, for me, I could say for me personally, it's my mum. You have Tam. You have people like yourself. Like, you know, even when I've spoken to you, you have the people that can really go into depth. You also have your pastors, so your spiritual guidance, whoever helps you in this. Like, I have Pastor Lloyd, I've got Bishop.
You have spiritual guidance?
Of course you do. Like,
people don't have that. The people don't have that one.
But that's one thing that everyone forgets. You need a spiritual guidance in this, because, all right, cool, I'm a Christian, right?
Yeah.
And the only person I got to look to get to where I'm going is God. And if I have a spiritual parent who could be a pastor or a bishop that can help me get, like, boost me up in the spiritual sense, then why not?
But also there's a level of protection, right? Because if we're being honest, there is a very dark kind of side to this industry, which is it focuses a lot on your aesthetics and what you look like and how sexy you are and selling sex, and all of this stuff is pretty dark and violent. So I'm guessing that that spiritual side will give you that level of protection, the purity, staying in line with your values. Is that why you've done it? Was that intentional?
It wasn't intentional, because
Yeah.
before I can say,
How you roll.
me before I was gonna go into this industry, yeah, bang, that's it, and
Yeah.
not understand that there is a darker route. I've had to watch people for me to understand, like, yo, this industry is dark, like it's really dark. Like
Yeah.
when you see what Michael Jackson's going through, if you see who else is a good example of it, like Whitney Houston, yeah, even with her, you got
Prince, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Amy Winehouse. That you could just go on and on and on.
But these are the big name peoples, and people don't understand that's a dark route. Like they really had to take the dark routes,
yeah,
and weave their way out of it. You get what I'm saying? Without us not into depth of it, because I don't want to get in trouble by nobody.
No, I hear you there. So in terms of your kind of music, so you have, when you're doing your projects, for instance, who do you have around you? So do you have creative directors, graphic designers, all these kind of people, photographers, videographers?
Oh, I'm really starting to get that now.
So, yeah. Wow. How long have you been doing this?
Last year. I really started the music thing last year.
You're ahead in your thing, man. You've already got spiritual guides and stuff, bro.
No,
is there anything, is there any like myths that you want to kind of like, obviously, like there's a lot of young people who are trying to get into these industries. And is there any myths that you had growing up that you're like, this is some crap, that's not what happens in the industry? Is there anything that you hear young people saying that you're like, that's not actually what happens?
That you make a lot of, that's that, like when you
that
sign,
you make what?
That you make a lot of money, and when you sign contracts, that's a myth. Like signing, like again, watching other people's mistakes has made me understand what's going on. Like, I'm gonna drop some knowledge on everybody, right? When you sign a contract, right, with people, make sure you read how much money you're getting from it, because you can sign $1 million contract but not understand that $1 million contract is actually, what's the word? It's a loan. It's not a grant. There's a difference between a grant and a loan. A grant, you need to pay back. A loan, you got to pay back. And you need to understand, when you sign $1 million contract, you're paying a lot of people out of that, the money. So your tour, it goes towards your tour, it goes towards your producer, it goes towards who made your beat, it goes towards your studio time. And then in the end, I promise you, and I've heard this from so many other big artists, in the end, you really end up with not even $1 million. Like you end up with less than $1 million. Probably like even $50K.
Yeah.
So
but
when
for a lot of people, that's a lot of money, man. Where they're coming from. Yeah. But obviously it's about maintaining that lifestyle as well. So it's like, okay, well, now I'm at this level, well, I've got this money, I still owe it back, so I've got to find a way to recuperate that money. So it's like, we've given you 200K, but you still got to make us 400 back. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
that's contracts. If you look at a contract, it's a con that tracks you. So
that is a bar.
He's playing with words.
That is a bar.
But even a con that is sent to you. So it's actually there to confuse you, so you get muddled into their legal arena, and then you're at the will and mercy of them. So you're basically the entertainer in the house, and it's kind of slavery if we're not careful about how we approach these things. So for you, so how do you make money? For those who want to get into the industry, where would you say is the places? So what's the point in doing music then as a profession for those who want to go into this industry?
As a profession?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know if it's a profession for me. It's something I really love doing. Like every day is music for me, no matter what. And if you don't go into this thing where like you don't know what you're doing and you don't understand what you're doing, like like I said before, this industry can break you. You gotta have that strong will and that mind power to like overcome certain issues. But the way how you can make money is you make money off your streams. But as much as people say, like, oh yeah, streaming is good, you don't make that much money from it. And me and you had this conversation as well. You don't make that much money from streams. And that's another myth that I've heard is, oh, you can make loads of money off streams, when it's like, nah. The most you make your money is when you go out and perform, because you're going out to perform, people will book you, and you make your money back. Yeah. And that's how you get leverage in this thing as well. That's a key word as well, leverage. You have to have it.
Yes, I love that. And I love the fact that you're looking at, because the way you spoke about it is like, you spoke about money as like, you're not really doing this for money because you just love it. So then you bring a level of value to this game. So when and I always say to people, you know, money is you are money, and you are an energy. Money has to follow something. It has to follow a value, a service, a product. So it has to follow something. So where is the value being created? So for instance, your music is valuable. Money will follow it. But obviously what the system has done is said, well, we know that you're getting lots of views here and you can get lots of money, but we're going to cut that because that's too easy. So what they're doing is obviously through shows, but there's also the branding side, because obviously a lot of artists get sponsorship, and you know, if you can get your music into movies, TV shows, adverts, into corporate things like that, it's like it's looking into the corporate world and seeing what music. So some people will make music they love, and then some people will make music that is tailored to certain adverts or certain environments. So it's about thinking out the box. Like, maybe I can make I've seen this Coca-Cola advert. I really like the advert, but I want to make a song for it. You know, like when they made someone made that. Is it Addison Lee? They made a song, Addison Lee. You know, free Addison Lee. They were getting free Addison Lee. Guys made a tune called Rover. Don't know if they've approached Rover yet, but you can approach Rover and say, look, we've got a tune called Rover. You know what I mean? So it's just thinking out the box.
That's what I'm saying. And people don't understand, you're a brand. They're gonna attract you. Because like you talk about them, they'll give you something in return. Like, because you're bigging up their thing. Before, I could bet anyone, before they heard Addison Lee, I bet you no one was really taking the Addison Lees like that. No one. And when he brings, everyone's gone on their phones and been like, hold on, what's this Addison Lee thing? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm gonna have to start taking cab from them. Like, forget Uber. So Uber upset.
I want to ask, have you ever, this is just a random one, but have you ever thought about putting your music on a cassette tape, or like a, what do they call it again? The record player.
Oh, you're talking about vinyl?
Yeah.
Yes. Like, that's how music was made. And you know what's funny as well? People actually buy vinyl because to them it sounds better, which I can actually say with my whole heart, it really does. Like the authenticness of a vinyl tape. Like, if you really listen to like R&B music, and if you want to look it back to like the Timberlands and everybody, like, if you listen closely, they got the vinyl type like sound to it. Like, everyone's practicing, right? And we're moving in a time where it's like everyone's feeling retro nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They want to be like, not weird, because I like vinyl, but everyone's moving into that time where they're like, you know what, let's be more aesthetic. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, listen, bring back cassettes, man. I miss cassettes. I used to listen to the radio, take the cassette, play it back, and just be like, yo, this is sick. Get a pencil, sharpen it up. Listen, bring that back. I'm looking at the time. I think we've got about 6 minutes, but we've got a question from Angel White, and it says, how do young people advertise themselves in the right way in the music industry? So have you got an answer to that, Amoy?
How do young people advertise themselves in the right way in the industry? Wow. Be real. Everyone likes realness nowadays, and there's a lie where everyone thinks, oh yeah, fake it till you make it, but it's not that thing. Like, you gotta be real in this music industry, because if you're not real, you'll get caught out down the line, you know. Like, all them tweets that you done tweeted, people are gonna find it. Like, it's just about being real at the end of the day. And I can't talk for everybody as an artist, because I'm a different kind of artist where I don't fit the norm. I don't want to do the norm. You know what I'm saying? I don't make sexual music for me to in order for my music to blow. I don't have to sexualize myself in order for me to become a bigger artist. Like, I don't need to do that. And what people need to understand is your talent talks for itself, and that's where it comes from.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, do you think Michael Jackson had to sexualize himself? Do you think Whitney Houston had to sexualize herself? Do you think Prince had to sexualize himself? No. Or even, let me not.
So that is, you're basically talking about being an artist. So an artist is someone who understands the art form. So it's sound, but then they also, a lot of them incorporated stories and visual aid, if that makes sense. And they told the story, and you was on the journey, and you're like, I know Michael, he's my brother. You know what I mean? Like, you felt like he was talking to you. And I think that's what it is now, is that a lot of the youth right now are caught up in a certain type of mindset, which is about destroying each other. I'm not saying all, but I'm saying, and then when you ask them, they're like, this is my life. No, it's not your life. Don't lie to yourself. Like, it's certain people in our community's life, but it's not everyone's life. And we are all affected to it by it in some way. But I think if there is another side, like the vulnerability side, which people don't realize, is, look at Stormzy. He started going into his vulnerabilities, and industry started taking a bit more notice, because he was like, Lord, like when he's saying to Lord, I'm broken, like, boom, gone, vulnerability. But it's everyone can relate to it, and everyone's there singing, like, do you get what I'm saying? So in the right way, there is no right way. I guess the way is about how you be in your authentic self, and making sure that you can make people feel a certain way, so they can feel connected, they can feel like they can relate. Oh my God, it doesn't matter what area of the planet or world you're in, you're like, I love that. So when you're talking about you want people to feel good, I think it's a beautiful thing. If you had go on, what was you gonna say, Amoy?
I'm saying it is, and that's what I'm always gonna try to promote at the end of the day: realness and feeling good. Yeah,
man, I love it. I'm looking at, we've got 2 minutes, so I want to use this time effectively in terms of, like, let's have Amoy's, advice to either your younger self or to those on the journey, or wanting to start the journey but don't believe in themselves. What advice does Amoy have for those up and coming?
Ooh, I got great advice, because I was once like that. I never believed in myself, and I'm not gonna say I believed. I just, like, it was 2 years ago I believed in myself. I only just started to believe in myself.
Yeah.
The thing where my advice is to everybody is, forget namesayers, forget haters, because they see something in you that they don't see in themselves. So you have something special that you carry that makes everybody attracted to you and makes everyone think, like, why can't I be like that? You're special. And if you're a creative as well, understand that you're never gonna fit in, because your mind, you look into stuff way too deep, and you're thinking of other ways of how to be different from everybody else, hence why you don't fit in. And I can say for myself, when me being a creative and me growing up, I didn't fit in. And it's only now I'm realizing that the reason why you didn't fit in is because you have something great over your life that makes you completely different from everybody else. And I'm saying this from a spiritual side as well. Like, when God tells you who you are, and nobody else can tell you you're not that person, because what keeps me going is the fact that God done gave me a vision. God gave me, he knew me by my name. He's the only person that knows me by my name, except for my dad, obviously. But he's the one that knows me inside and out. And he's the reason why I can become an artist that I can become, because he installed a vision in my head, and I just saw it. So with him, I go by, God says, I am that I am. And that means I am who you say I am. You get me?
Go on, power.
Do yourself.
Oh, that's right there. So it looks like our time is up. But before we end today's show, I just wanted, Amoy, can you just speak about the auditions? Remember, they are open now. So just give the people information on what they need to do to get their auditions in. All right, cool. So if you sing, dance, rap, spoken word, filming, right, that's 5 categories, right?
you need to send, all right, so for the 4 categories, which is sing, dance, rap, and spoken word, you got to do a 60-second clip. So with a 60-second clip is you got to be authentic in those. Like if you're doing a cover and you're singing, make sure you make it your own. And even if you can't make it your own, show them how you're different. You know what I'm saying? You're rapping, if you're covering a rap or if you're spitting your own bars, make sure they are clean. That is the one thing that we need to make sure, everybody, is that your music is clean and what you're doing is clean. Because when you get to the industry, what do they play on radio? Clean music. So that's the main thing. And if you're a filmmaker, a 90-second clip, which is if you want to show a film about being happy, middle, beginning, end, and how that story flows into each other. So yeah, that's what you got to do. And make sure you visit the website below, because you can send your audition clips below. And we also have special, we've got a special event that's coming up in August. So make sure you guys are locked in on our website, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, on, am I missing something else? On our YouTube. I feel like I'm missing some more social medias, you know.
No, I think you got it. But yeah, thank you, Amoy. Thank you for stepping up. This has been Heart to Hearts with Hearts of Talent. We wish you all an amazing evening and a great rest of the week, and get your auditions in. And thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, guys.
Over and out. Peace.